Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to today's webinar, which is entitled How Schneider Electric Transformed Front Office Operations with Real-Time Processes and Data. My name is Clive Behrman, and I'm the Director and host today, Director of Marketing and host today for the Informatica Cloud platform. And I have great pleasure my co-host is Mark Nardella, who's got a wonderful story to tell. And hello, Mark.
Hello. Thanks very much. Looking forward to this.
Great. Thanks for having you here. So, what's on our agenda today? So I'm going to give a quick overview of the Informatica Cloud platform. Specifically, we're going to look at the sort of application integration, the sort of real-time application integration components. Mark is going to start the show. He's going to give us how they used it and how he's implemented it at Schneider Electric. It's a fantastic story. We've got some time for Q&A and some next steps. So it's only 30 minutes, so I'm going to crack on. So just first a little bit about Informatica Cloud. It's the #1 cloud integration and data management solution out there on the market today. We do over 70 billion transactions a month. For those that are good at math, that's over 2.5 billion a day. We're trusted by over 2,500 customers. We have a massive range of connectivity. For those of you with a specific interest in Salesforce, we've got a product in every category of the IT and administration classification on the App Exchange, and have been an award winner there for 5 years in a row. And we're probably used by more Tier 1 consulting partners as it relates to sort of like the Salesforce ecosystem than anyone else. So some great credentials there, you would probably agree. And to go with that, the Informatica Cloud platform really is extremely extensive. We've got everything from cloud data integration you see on the left for synchronizing and replicating data from cloud to on-premise to cloud, databases and applications. We've got real-time application integration as it relates from our cloud application product. So you can do SOAP or REST-based integration, or in fact, we'll see some interesting stuff to do with what we call ScreenFlow and process automation. We've got sandbox management, so for those cloud applications or that you've got in the cloud, you can really secure your test data environments, and you can mask those data environments, and also easily create test data sets as well for your development in your cloud sandboxes there. Obviously, there's cloud data quality, so there's address validation, there's deduplication, there's a whole bunch of stuff that we have in for data quality. And finally, on the right, and by no means not sort of last, the cloud master data management, where you can sort of provision a single customer view to maybe do things like white space analysis and different visualizations as it relates to hierarchies that you have in your cloud applications. So as the spiel goes at the bottom there, Informatica Cloud is the only complete solution for cloud integration and data management that allows SaaS application administrators, architects, developers to really connect enterprise-ready cloud applications across on-premise, cloud, big data, social, and mobile environments. Quite a breadth of offering. So we only have 30 minutes, and I only really want to talk about one sort of use case today, which is all around the real-time access to actionable data, that cloud application integration section that I talked about earlier. So you may ask, what is it? It's a component, as we just mentioned, of the entire platform. Helps you develop, integrate, and deploy cloud-based real-time processes and services. What does it do? It really helps you to consume and interact with data in real time. It has, as we say here, we can do cloud to cloud, we can do cloud to ground, and various modes of that too. We can do that in real time and interact with sort of bulk interactions too. We can do service integration, so if we just want to do a request and response, maybe from a cloud data service somewhere, we can do that. And we can do full process automation, which allows for a stateful, long-running transaction and long-running process, of which we'll hear some of that today. And finally, the sort of last piece is that anything that you can create and consume APIs in sort of a common fashion. And the benefit realistically is provides us that real-time access to data for better decision-making and user efficiency through automation. And I put quite dramatically in some cases, and I think we'll see some of that today from Mark and Schneider. So I just wanted to delve into the cloud application integration sort of functionality a little bit here. At the bottom, we've already talked about there's broad connectivity to pretty much any data source, wherever it may be. You can be assured that there's a secure multi-tenant runtime that takes care of all the administration and management for you, so all these processes will have the option to run in the cloud. How do you create these processes? Well, there's the Cloud Process Designer. There's also another component that if you want to create processes that have human interaction, you want to do process automation with people, there's a special component called ScreenFlow. Mark's going to talk about that in depth. And we can flip those around. Those ScreenFlows will actually are also optimized to run on any mobile device, and whether that be an iPhone or or a platform that supports HTML5. So your people can get access to those to those processes while they're on the go. And here's a very how do you create those processes? I just wanted to delve in a little bit to the Cloud Process Designer. It's a point-and-click UI, fully 100% cloud, so we just access it through a browser. It's point-and-click, and you can create those process trees as you see in the diagram there. The little tan icons are actually activities associated with data, and there's little blue ones that are actually the screen flow equivalent. So you can see the blue icons will be showing you the screen. As we said, real time, we can get access to data almost immediately through either SOAP or REST-based services. You can talk to other parts of the Informatica Cloud platform, so you can talk to data integration, the sort of corollary, the bulk data synchronization mechanism. It can also create sub-processes too, where you don't have to put everything in one big diagram, but you can create discrete components. Those process flows, as I've already mentioned, can run as web apps, so they can run sort of via ScreenFlow in a browser, and also can be embedded inside certain applications like Salesforce. You can run them unattended, so they can run without human interaction. So maybe you're doing some straight-through processing between various systems. That can run too. And as I've already said, the mobile aspect, we can run those ScreenFlows through as mobile process apps. And that's the design piece, and we've talked about the interactive piece. There's also a runtime view whereby I can see my cloud processes, how they're running. I can look at those through process debugging in the cloud console there. That's the lower picture. And it will show you things like debugging, what path your process took, performance monitoring, how well the process ran. You can see things like message logs, and in the instance where you have these processes running on a local server, you can get access to those things as well. So how do we've talked about application integration. We've shown you some of the tools. What do people do with it? Basically, I've got my little developer on the left where he can, or she can create those processes that interact with various systems together. We can use the process designer either from Informatica Cloud, or as I've got the little Salesforce icon there, I can use it to make guides and process guides inside of Salesforce. We make and deploy our processes. That's my graphic in the middle. And then we can publish to Informatica Cloud. And my users on the right-hand side, again, can basically, as I said, use their browser or their Salesforce screens to get access to those processes and run those processes and those automations. And things that they're doing, things like real-time inventory lookup, maybe opportunity to order. So I'm using Salesforce as my order entry, but I want to sync it and I want to push in real time all of the data into, say, my SAP system. You could use it for asynchronous app integration. Maybe you've got an ESB somewhere that's maybe doing some of your integration. You can hook right into that. And the last action there is maybe I'm doing a mashup of external systems. So we have in some instances people that are provisioning certain devices while they're in the field. So field service engineers using a mobile device to provision, say, like a cable TV service, or maybe another instance that we have where folks are actually signing up for healthcare when they're in the mall. So they're using a mobile device, an iPad, in fact, to walk people through signing up for healthcare. So lots and lots of very interesting use cases with real-time integration. So actually, while I was talking about signing folks up for healthcare, here's some examples. We've got, as we said, maybe health insurance policy sign up. We've got customer service provision when somebody buys a new cell phone, provisioning them. A similar sort of scenario, but with electricity, where somebody signs on to have a new domestic or commercial electricity service. We've got a customer here that uses embeds actually the real-time application component into their insurance aggregation platform. So when agents then provision various policies, they can sign up and interact with all of the other policy management systems that might be needed. And then I've got three use cases all on the right that do call center automation. So these folks actually use Salesforce as their primary primary user interface, and they provision call center tickets when people phone up or interact with their systems in various ways. Their call center agents actually use the ScreenFlow component to walk their customers to call resolution. So that's great too. And a similar sort of thing with Tyco, although slightly different, is that the customer service portal is a bit more self-service, but for internal call agents. So lots and lots of use cases where cloud application integration is used to automate very manual processes and automate manual processes that interact with a lot of external systems. So that was a very, very brief introduction of what the particular products we have around application integration. And there's actually no better way to get a real view of how somebody's using it than to talk to somebody themselves. And so without any more ado, I'm going to hand it over to Mark Nardella from Schneider Electric to take you through their use case. So Mark, over to you.
Thank you very much. For the people on the phone, just a little bit about my role. I am the global Schneider process owner for sales. So my responsibilities is basically to have all of Schneider's businesses work together around common processes enabled by common tools. So let me get started and jump right in. A little bit about Schneider Electric, if you've never heard of us. We are a 23 billion euro company. We have over 150,000 employees worldwide, and we're, I would say, very active in new economies, with about 43% of our business in new economies. Jumping a little more into who we are, within our buildings and partner business, we have key technologies that you might be aware of around low voltage and building automation. Within our infrastructure, we have medium voltage and grid automation. Within our industry businesses, we have discrete and process automation. And then within our IT, which is critical power and cooling. Just to call out, if I'm sure you've heard of a lot of the companies that are part of the Schneider family. A little bit about what started our journey. Over the last 5 to really 8 years, Schneider Electric has grown significantly through acquisitions. So we have a lot of companies that have joined our family, somewhere in the ballpark of 40 plus companies. Some rather large companies and some are smaller. So basically, we were left with the need to consolidate how our Salesforce will approach common things. So we developed a program around being one solution provider, around one company focusing around our customers. This program basically established a common CRM tool that we use, and we use Salesforce.com. Jump right into the next slide. Together, we had a program what we call Bridge Front Office, which once again is Salesforce.com for us, to deploy 17,000 employees by 2012. Today, we are around the 30,000 mark, or somewhere around there, plus or minus 1,000. So a significant number of our user community, all on a single instance of Salesforce.com. We developed a 4-to-1 value statement, basically focusing around Salesforce efficiency, opportunity sharing, portfolio management, real-time commercial analytics, and then system cost reduction, all around our customers to give that 360-degree view. In the end, we have a complete CRM approach. We have sales, customer care, issue prevention, services, marketing, PRM, all live on a common platform, allowing all of our countries and all our businesses to work together. So then what's really the problem? I think like most people, when they launch a CRM initiative, they think that once they deploy, all their problems will go away. Basically, that's when we started looking into ways we could be more efficient. Deploying was step 1. Step 2 was really to maximize the value of it. So, for example, in this example, a direct quote from one of our CCC agents was, "It takes over 3 minutes to create an account record in Bridge Front Office or in Salesforce, based on the processes we've built. 3 minutes. It was way, way too long." So what we found was record creation, search, and update was way too complex, and we needed some other way to make it simpler. Extensive training was required around process, having people try to understand and memorize the steps they're supposed to take. Too many clicks, no on-screen support, no or limited ability to leverage smart devices, and our data quality was not the best. It was pretty poor. So basically, we set out to find ways to make it simple. On the left-hand side, you see a standard Salesforce screen, and this is pretty much without guides. A salesperson needs to understand and navigate through Salesforce. They need to understand the tabs, the sections, the field, and it's all displayed for them, and they have to memorize the flow. With guides, you move away from that. It's more of a simple, here's the question you ask, the data to capture, and then the next question you ask and the next data to be captured. So it was a make it simple approach. Some problem statements that led us to look for a solution. Desktop users are having a hard time remembering the correct process to follow. So which fields to capture and which order, or have not been trained, causing a lot of data quality problems. So the general solution to us was have a guide, ask questions, and populate data without having the users have to think. We didn't want them to have to memorize which field do they enter next, which questions should they ask themselves. So simplify the data capturing, streamline the record creation. Another problem statement we had was around efficiency. Our sales resources that travel, the ones that are outside sales, that very rarely are in the office, needed the ability to be more efficient. Today, they kept paper notes. They manually updated Bridge Front Office or Salesforce once a week with all the meeting notes from all those visits. The solution was give the ability to update on the road, in your car. Real simple. You get out of a meeting, give the ability to enter on your phone or an app a quick couple points of information, and have that updated automatically in Salesforce. So we answer the question, well, what for? What do we need guides for? So our mission was to improve the efficiency of the overall process. Make it easier, make it faster, make it mobile. So in the end, we could improve adoption and improve our data quality. So the technology we chose Cloud Extend. We looked into many different technologies out there, including Salesforce's own internal option. And we chose Cloud Extend. Well, we chose them because it was simple, it was intuitive, it was one of those guide tools where it was available on a PC and it was available on a smart device. It was quick to respond, and basically it was simple. It was simple, easy, and fast. So a little picture of our strategy. We had some objectives, which was give our salespeople more time with the customer. We wanted higher adoption. We wanted better data quality, improved user experience, and et cetera. There was a list of requirements that we asked for, and then on the right-hand side, we basically said we're going to digitalize our users' experience, and that's what we did through guides. So real simple, we took a data-driven approach using standard Salesforce and turned it into a process-driven approach. So how will Informatica be managed? A couple of facts about this is you don't really require IT to be involved. It's not a coding tool. It's really a drag and drop process tool. So if you have IT people, it's great, but if you didn't really necessarily need them. It comes with a friendly, easy-to-use guide creator, which with maybe an hour of training, you can get right in and create your own guides. It allows the process organization to manage without adding cost to IT, if that's a concern to you. And it does not alter the architecture of Bridge Front Office. The key point is it sits on top. It uses the rules you have in Bridge Front Office, but then you're allowed to enhance and not affect the overall user community. We set up governance rules and we set up deployment rules. I won't read through them, but we had a strong governance and a strong deployment approach. Some lessons learned. The amount of time to build that knowledge to develop the guides took between 1 to 2 months. Initially, we thought we could get up and running in weeks. Not bad if you really think about it, 1 to 2 months, but I guess my initial expectations of 1 to 2 weeks wasn't realistic. The type of skills required to design the guides are more business analysts, having some technical background. They don't need to, but it does help to basically understand, I would say, more technical approach. We ran into a lot of problems with our iPhone adoption. Really nothing to do with the guides. We were a company that just switched from BlackBerries to iPhones and Android devices, and it was a dramatic change for us, and we really ran into problems with VPN. We overcame all that, and as I said before, it really had nothing to do with Informatica's product. Really leveraged the support. We built a very strong partnership with Informatica, and they've been with us every step of the day. We have weekly calls with our sales rep and our, I would say, a technical team. So we're really involved with them. Have a full-time designer and full-time business process analyst is key. In the beginning, we started off with part-time resources, and that didn't work. So we eventually moved to full-time, fully allocated resources. That concludes it. I'll hand it back over to you. I think you have a few remaining slides.
Thanks, Mark. So that's a great presentation there. So I'm just going to make a quick plug. We can actually, if you want to see the solution that Mark mentioned, and you happen to be in San Francisco in the next couple of weeks, then drop by Salesforce Dreamforce, and you can see it there. And for more information about Dreamforce, go to informaticacloud.com/Dreamforce. So I know we have just a couple of minutes left for some questions, and I see a couple of questions there. So Mark, one of the slides mentioned that it took 3 minutes for somebody to just like enter stuff into Salesforce and do all the work associated with that. How long do you think it took after you implemented the Informatica Cloud?
So it's a good question. So we were at 3 minutes of using standard Salesforce with the amount of fields and rules we put in place. So I would answer this in 2 ways. One, to say that with the guides, we automated fields, which we didn't want to automate based on standard Salesforce. So that allowed a reduction of time. We simplified the navigation. So in other words, instead of clicking through so many sections or scrolling down or up on your web page, it was right there displayed for you. So we only displayed the fields that were required based upon the specific account we're creating. So I would, if I had to give you a time period, which isn't necessarily the right way to answer it, I'd have to say it's definitely less than a minute, but that's primarily related to the questions we're asking.
Got it. And then who developed the guides, in kind of like the process automation guides?
We had an internal business process person that started off developing the guides, and as we matured through the project, we added some internal additional resources to help out. So today, we really have more, I would say, of a combination approach, a partnership between our process organization and our IT group.
And as you said, most of those folks aren't super technical either, right?
That's correct. Neither of them are what you would say as traditional developers.
And then you also mentioned you did a mobile rollout. How many folks do you think you have on, using the process guides on a mobile device?
At this moment, we have 80 to 100 live on the mobile device, and that's our primary focus area. And we are scaling that up to about 500 is our goal for the end of 2014. And then we're looking to really scale it up in 2015. And if everything works out as planned, we could go as high as close to 3,000 to 4,000.
And all those are pretty much sales people in the field, kind of entering deals and things like that?
Yeah, they're primary sales and they're global. They're not just in the U.S. They're in just about every single country that we do business in, which is majority of them.
Oh, fantastic. So let me just check the queue here just to make sure I've got no more questions. There was one question that's just on one Salesforce org, right? Presumably you have a sandbox somewhere and you develop in the sandbox, and then you have one global production org, correct?
Yeah, so I think we have less than a minute left, so I'll quickly answer that. We have one single instance of Salesforce with all 30,000 users, cross-process working together.
That's fantastic. So, well, thanks, Mark. I'm just going to do a final wrap-up. So, well, firstly, I'd like to thank you, Mark. Great presentation and great validation for our technology there. If you want to try it yourself, then please go to informaticacloud.com/trial and sign up for our 30-day free trial. If the Salesforce and the process stuff is not implemented in your org once you sign up there, then please give us a call and we'll turn that on for you. Follow us on @InfoCloud on our social page. And lastly, if you happen to be going to Dreamforce, then please stop on by our booth, and you can see even more and get an in-depth demonstration of it actually working in action. So thanks everybody for joining today, and I would especially like to thank Mark and Schneider Electric for their participation in such a great case study. So thanks, Mark.
Thank you.